Friday edition continues of Sabres Live. As promised, Amerks head coach Michael Leone is with us after the announcement yesterday that he has become the next in line after Seth Appert's excellent run, of which Seth is now a member of the Sabres coaching staff. Michael, congratulations. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Happy to be here and really excited to get started.
Okay, I'm going to start you with this one. This is funny to me. If I go to like Elite Prospects right now to dig in for information, and I look at the 24-25 Rochester Americans, there is only Zach Metza, Riley Fiddler-Schultz, and you listed because everybody else needs a contract or is on entry-level contracts, which mean they could be playing for NHL. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I saw that yesterday.
Is it super exciting? Like when you have this, and again, it's your first head coaching job in the pros. Like it's an interesting and dare I say an open canvas to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm grateful for the opportunity. The last 48 hours have been my phone's been blowing up from past players and going back to even when I was a volunteer at Bowling Green, and just really excited and grateful. I can't wait to get started, and I'm so lucky to be in this organization and work for great people. And I've heard nothing but great things. Obviously, been getting a lot of texts on the prospects that are in the organization, and I am familiar with some of them, and I'm grateful and I'm excited.
Hardest question you'll ever have to answer. Right, coming up right now, Mike. Michael. That's the way it is. When I came into Buffalo, I followed a guy named Dominic Hasek. Now everybody kept asking me, "What does it feel like following Hasek?" You followed some pretty good names, either in Green Bay and now coming into Rochester. I mean, Don Granato, we all know him, obviously, from his time here in Buffalo. John Cooper, Derek Lalonde, they were coach of the Green Bay Gamblers before you. And now Seth Appert, who's done a fantastic job with Rochester and up with Buffalo. So what's the approach to saying, oh, I'm following up in some big shoes? I remember saying, Hasek took his shoes with him, and I better wear my own shoes to the locker room. So how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think you said it best. I think the biggest thing I've learned so far in my coaching journey is you got to be yourself. I've been really lucky. I actually played for Coop and Derek Lalonde, and I know Seth. We worked in the same building for a year, and obviously he's done an unbelievable job. But I think, the culture is in place there. It's set. Now I have to come in. Obviously every coach has new ideas, but I think we share a lot of the same values and beliefs on how we practice and how we train. And, you just got to be yourself.
With that being said, what do you think you've taken with you from all of your stops along the way here in what is still a relatively short coaching career?
Yeah, I think, you take bits and pieces from everyone. And like I said, I've been really fortunate to play for really good coaches. But I think the biggest thing I've learned when I went to the national program, obviously the new age of player and how skilled the game is, and learning how to coach those young, talented kids from my time in Green Bay, then getting the opportunity in Green Bay to run your own program. And we had really talented kids there. I was fortunate to coach Arden Lefshunoff, who's going to be a high draft pick. We had Julian Lutz last year, and I think it's really important to develop relationships with players so they can trust you. And I think that's the biggest thing and one of my strengths. And I can't wait to get started.
What is the biggest challenge you feel is going from juniors and your time at the National Team Development Program and moving to the pros? It's obviously different, right? But what is the biggest challenge you think when you look at dealing with young kids and juniors and now dealing with pros that want to get to the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's, managing personalities, managing people, I think is one of my strengths. And obviously there's a lot of things I don't know about pro hockey. So it's really important for me to lean on the people that have been there and my mentors that have helped me. But I think at the end of the day, you're managing people. Everyone has high expectations to get to the next level. And it's my job and responsibility to help them ultimately become a Buffalo Sabre. And I think it's just really leaning on the people. There's really good people in that organization that are there. Great assistant coaches. Seth laid the foundation, and it's my job to come in and continue that. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
So that is leading us to a fair assumption that Nathan Pace and Vinny Prospel are coming back.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. What else what's on the short-term to-do list for you here?
Well, it's a crazy time for me. I actually have a newborn on the way, my first child in the next month.
Wow.
So that's coming up here. But no, just reaching out to I talked to Nathan Page last night. Talked to Metsa yesterday. We're having another conversation today, but a lot of media calls,
Yeah.
returning texts, and honestly, just really enjoying the moment. I mean, it's a really exciting time for myself, the organization, my family. So I'm just really excited, and I'm taking it all in.
Okay, so from Michigan, last couple of years in Green Bay, coming to the Western New York, I would say Buffalo Bills region. What is your like football fandom, if we can say lies? Because you've been around some parts of the country that have different NFL teams.
Yeah, no, I'm actually a big football fan. Like, so grew up a Michigan football fan, but obviously a huge Dan Campbell fan now. What he's
Oh,
done,
wow.
right? But no, I'm a big Bills guy too. Like, I really like their head coach. I actually had Josh Allen on my fantasy team, so that's get a lot of running touchdowns, so that's good. But I'm a huge sports fan in general, so really like the Bills as well.
When you mentioned Campbell and the Lions, it leads me to ask whether you feel like you're able to pull from being a sports fan and watching other leaders do their thing in their respective sports. And if so, what might you draw from people like Campbell and or others?
Yeah, I think no, it's a really good question. I follow a lot of coaches in other sports. If you look at Dan Hurley at Connecticut, what he's done there and his leadership, and how hard the guys practice and how hard they play, and even Dan Campbell, watching it firsthand from afar, even though I wasn't in Detroit at the time, but the culture that he created in the buy-in, and you kind of pull things from different coaches, and you gotta do it your own way. But yeah, it really, I'm a huge sports guy, so I follow a lot of coaches, and there's other guys that I'm missing, but you kind of come up with your own way to do things, and that's what I try to do in Green Bay, and we were successful. And I look forward to bringing new ideas and thoughts to Rochester, and continue what Seth built there.
So you mentioned Dan Hurley. We have somebody on our staff that does not like Connecticut basketball very much. In Tom Mecca. Sorry, Mecca, I threw you under the bus here. But Hurley potentially going to the Lakers, right? Like there's always these guys that they have great sound bites after intensity. I think of those two. You talk Hurley, Campbell. There's an intensity behind them. What's your demeanor behind the bench? Is it one that we will be able to read your facial expression and the color of your skin, or do you stay calm?
No, I'm pretty calm, cool, collective. Like, I think it's really important for, at times, you're a competitor as a coach in person, which I am, and you see that emotion sometimes, but I'm a firm believer in that, you take on the personality of your coach. And the guys that I played for, was fortunate enough to play for, learned a lot from them, even though I was a player at the time, of how cool and calm they were. And that's probably more than screaming at the refs or the players.
All right, leave that for Vinny Prospel. He's done his fair share of yelling at the refs before. You just put him in charge; he'll take care of it.
When you take your experience most recently in Green Bay, which obviously included team building as a general manager, how much of that skill set was developed in the last couple of years? And
it's, if you look at especially in the USHL, it's a really volatile league. Like, especially with the NCAA transfer portal, we actually lost 6 kids in the middle of the summer, 2 drafted kids, so we had to find a way to make trades, and we knew we had a really good goalie coming back. But it's really, you learn a lot during that time, I was never a general manager before, so I was kind of, it was on the go, but you really realize you acquire really good people and talent, and good things are going to happen, and you got to get the most out of your players. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think we did a really good job of that. But it prepares you. You're on the phone a lot doing both jobs, and not many teams in the league had a coach, general manager, but it really helped me grow as a person in dealing with agents and players, and you're on the phone a lot. But I really enjoyed my time being a general manager, but now I'm really excited just to be able to coach.
So, how much cheese do you consumed in Green Bay? And do you know what a garbage plate is? Because that is a Rochester staple.
No, yeah, my wife was looking through some of the tweets, and she's like, "What's a garbage plate?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to find out." But cheese curd, yeah, that was a big thing with it was Packer football and Gambler hockey. That was the big thing there. And then, but yeah, I don't know what a garbage plate is.
Well,
you
we'll
allow your-
we'll have one waiting for you when you first
Yeah.
come to Rochester. I'm sure somebody will take care of that.
No.
Do you when I mean, this is as you said, a big time in your life with the new baby coming. What is the kind of timeline as far as getting involved with the Amerks / the Sabres here over the
Yeah,
next few
so
months?
I've been in, Jason and I, obviously they have a really busy time right now at the combine, but we're going to connect this next week and talk about the roster and things like that. The plan is to hopefully, depending on when the baby's born, but to make it to the draft and then development camp after that. So if all things play out, hopefully that happens, but you never know with the time of the baby. But yeah, so we're gonna connect next week. I'm actually going back to Green Bay. We actually have main camp this week to say, talk to the players and management there. Tomorrow I'm gonna fly out and say goodbye to the people that gave me an opportunity, and then I'll head back next week.
Okay, well, the sports nut that you are, who is going to win the Stanley Cup Finals? Florida Panthers, obviously against the Edmonton Oilers. I'm sure you've watched a ton of what's happening. So, who's your
Yeah,
pick and how many games?
Oh wow, put me on the spot. I'm gonna go with Florida in 6 games.
Okay, it's not really putting you on the spot.
No.
There's 2 teams.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like I'm giving you the option from 100 of them. Like there's 2.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say Florida in 6. They've
Florida
been
in 6.
there.
Didn't Shayna just say Florida in 6 as well, Duffer?
Yes, she
So
did. So
I
Michael's
got
in.
Florida in 7, and Duffer, I don't know who you got.
No, you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the show for that. So.
Okay, good. Or maybe Monday or Tuesday.
No, I don't want to wait till the series is well underway. Michael, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck in your budding family here in the next few weeks, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
No, thanks a lot. I'll be looking forward to the garbage plate when I get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can. It could be a theme of one of our shows at development camp. Although that would maybe fly in the face of development, right, Marty? Yeah,
That would not be good for the fat test. That's for sure.
All right, Michael, thanks so much. There he is, Michael Leone, head coach of the Amerks.